Ooh. Okay, I feel safest with Gib.
ジブさんにお願いします。
Oh, Jib, huh? Though I was intimidated by him because he was charged with murder, his composed demeanor and prudent way of speaking gave me a sense of security. Above all else, he was a former officer, so he likely wouldn't act in a way that would get us caught, at least when it came to breaking traffic rules.
わかった。私が引き受けよう。
You're too pretty big for a car, I guess.
では、不測の事態に陥った場合は、ミラノのドゥオーモで合流するとしよう。
Duomo.
何も起こらないことを祈るがな。
Duomo, he means Piazza del Duomo at the heart of Milan, right? Is it really okay for us to show up in a place like that? Completely unaware of anxiety, everyone followed Jib's command and filed into the car. Was I really fine with this outcome? Though I had the urge to hesitate with everyone in a hurry to leave, I ended up climbing into the sidecar. The 7 of us split into the cabriolet group and the bike and sidecar pair. We headed north from Milan on the highway. Just in case, we drove side by side at a distance where we could communicate with each other if we shouted. However, where's your helmet? Perhaps because it was just a few news report about us, lots of police cars were patrolling the highway. Agitation shot through the group.
これこのまま行っていいわけ？
え？引き返した方がいいんじゃないの？捕まっちゃうって。
いや、検問しているわけではない。止められないよう普通に走行すれば大丈夫だ。
Are you sure they know our faces?
でも近くにいると顔が見られてしまいそうですし、急いでここから逃げた方がいいのでは。
バカ。こういう時は派手に動くとかえって怪しまれる。あくまでバカンスを楽しむ友人同士のふりをするんだよ。
何速度上げてんの？せめてバイクと車で他人のふりをした方がいいような。
Who's driving though?
あっちの声全然聞こえないんだけど。
It was hard to hear over the roar of the road and silence, since we were still basically strangers, we didn't cooperate well. The situation spiraled out of control.
警察がこっち見てます。急がないと。いや、逆走した方が。
What does he say? Don't drive in the wrong direction.
速度を落としてください。でないとスピード違反で捕まって。
We swerved left and right between lanes, driving conspicuously. Sure enough, we earned the police's attention.
そこの車両、止まりなさい。うわ、やば。早く逃げるよ。
The police sirens were now focused on us. When I turned to look, one police car was pressing nearer, lining up to intercept us. If they caught up and saw our faces, they'd realize that we were the wanted fugitives. It seemed that for the first time, we all shared the same sentiments. No one had to say anything. In the same instant, both the car and the bike took off. And so the car chase began.
おい、アッシュ。車をバイクみたいに乗り回すな。
Maybe I should have picked Ash to drive the bike instead. Ash didn't heed Gibbs' shout at all. The cabriolet he drove showed no signs of slowing down. The cabriolet swerved left and right in front of us, trying to shake off the police. Jib drove defensively so that we wouldn't be dragged into the aftermath. Sirens blared as the police car encroached on us. After a swift glance, Jib sped up the bike.
悪いが少し揺れるぞ。しっかり捕まってやろう。
The moment I nodded, the bike sharply swerved right, rocketing down a highway exit. Jib deftly operated the bike and we rapidly distanced ourselves from the highway. The police weren't after us anymore. Perhaps they couldn't keep up with the sudden change of direction. Nevertheless, Jib continued to check for any police pursuers as he cautiously selected our path. After countless left and right turns, it was clear that we'd managed to outrun them. Jib slowed down by a margin.
怪我はないか？
はい、ありがとうございます。
無事ならいい。
Even while he was driving, Jib showed concern for me. The news reported him as a murderer. He hadn't denied it. However, among the six, this man, who seemed like the oldest, had an aura that was more cool-headed than everyone else. He was a gentleman. Well, he was married, right? The steady and calm driving slowly melted my anxiety away, and then we pressed forward toward our destination, Milan. Piacenza? When we arrived at the city before Milan, Piacenza, we decided to take a short break. I'm exhausted. I got out of the sidecar and relished in the delight of standing on still ground. This was all the first for me, being hunted by police, getting in a car chase, and I still couldn't let my guard down. I vigilantly scanned for police nearby as I fixed my hair, unruly from the wind. I noticed Jib staring at the other side of the plaza. Wondering what caught his attention, I looked over and spotted a cathedral. Is there something about the cathedral that bothers him?
少し見ていきますか?
Hearing my suggestion, though Jib wavered a bit, he nodded.
そうだな。休憩には適しているかもしれん。まさか警察も犯罪者が逃亡中に祈りを捧げるとは思わないだろう。
That's true. Criminals taking time to pray. The interior of the cathedral was dim, cool, and tranquil. Luckily, there was no one else around. We sat down on a bench next to each other and had a moment of respite. Phew! I finally had time to breathe a sigh of relief. When I looked up, gorgeous ceiling murals filled my vision. On an ordinary day, I definitely get lost in the beautiful artwork. I immediately thought how nice it'd be to admire it with Ida. My routine life had been the norm until 2 days ago had transformed into a sweet fantasy. I was still struggling to accept my new reality. When I looked beside me, Jib was praying keenly. His face was so sincere that I even hesitated to talk to him. Who in the world was this man, and which side of him was the real Jib? For example, if the others were around, any of them would likely pretend to pray just to avoid discovery. But it was just the two of us right now, yet Jib was praying almost piously. Or was he praying? Was he confessing his sins with remorse? What in the world was he praying about? Follow his example, I also closed my eyes. Alas, I simply didn't know what I should say in my prayers. Oh, that is so relatable, you know. After that period of brief respite, we resumed our bike journey and reached Milan at long last. We finally arrived in the Piazza del Duomo. Just like Jib said, Milan was a lively city that seemed an appropriate hiding place from police surveillance. Together we headed all the way to Duomo, the meeting place we'd chosen in case we ever got separated. I prayed that everyone would be here as I walked forward, and within moments someone familiar entered my view.
来ました。よかった、無事ですよ。
Yep, we're here in one piece.
よかった。お姉ちゃん、こっちこっち。
I wonder what Jib was praying about though. Seeing the faces of those who waved at us, I breathed a sign of relief. I was so glad that they were all safe and sound. When I dashed over, Sally hugged me merrily. Ash just seemed pleased that the bike had made it safely. I'm pretty sure that's not it though.
人員も欠けてはいないようだな。
おかげさまでね。
でも正直僕は振り落とされて死ぬかと思いました。カーチェイスは映画で見るからいいんですよ。
何にせよ、全員無事でよかった。
Jib patted Ashes on the back. His own way of communicating it was a job well done. With that, we tentatively celebrated the fact that we'd all made it safely and found each other again. Chapter 2: Determination. Now what? After meeting up with the others, I took a look at our surroundings and noted the crowd of tourists. Duomo. Hey. Duomo could be said to be the most famous tourist attraction in Milan. Hey, maybe Mika will meet her friends or something here. A part of me wondered whether it was okay for wanted fugitives like us to be out in the open area, but the people nearby didn't take note of us at all. Chip had said that being in a big city actually helped you avoid attention. I could see that for myself now.
あの子のファッションかわいい。どこで売ってるやつかな。
こういう場所こそ僕の出番って感じなんだけどな。それよりそろそろ移動しませんか。ここに立っていると人目につきそうですし。
そうだな。ひとまず潜伏できる場所を探そう。行くぞ。
潜伏できる場所ね。空き家でも探すか？
いや、空き家は真っ先に捜索が入るはずだ。宿泊施設がいいだろう。しかしこの人数だ。
ミラノならいくらでもありそうですが、問題は立地ですよね。目立たない場所となると路地裏とかでしょうか。
頼むからあんまり不衛生なところはやめてくれ。ゆっくり休めもしないからな。
That's true.
そんな贅沢が言える状況ならいいけどな。
The most pressing question is how are we going to cover the lodging fees? We walked through the streets of Milan, each of us stewing over our individual concerns and plans. How did we find this place? Several hours later, after hopping here and there across the city, we managed to check into a condo hotel that was clean, cheap, on a back street, and could fit 7.
おお、結構いい部屋じゃん。腹減ったし、まずは何か食い物手に入れに行こうぜ。
それより先に部屋割りだよ。こっちの一番可愛い部屋はサリーたち女子部屋ね。で、こっちの地味な感じの部屋がパパさんで。
誰だよパパさんって。
え？チブさんのことだけど。みんなのパパっぽいし。
パパさんと呼ばれたのは初めてだ。
僕ではなくてよかったです。
それよか先生ってとこじゃないのか。どっちでもいいだろ。
人事だと思って好きに言ってくれる。しかしパパさんとはな。
Pops, huh? I don't know. I think it suits you. It sounds very warm. I like it. Shall I call you that too? I don't know. I don't know. Shall I call you that too?
どうせなら私もそう呼びましょうか。
何？
Jib suddenly choked and
ち
wheezed.
ょっとパパさん大丈夫？何も飲んでないのに急にむせるとか普通に危ないんだけど。
いや大丈夫だ。
本当に大丈夫ですか、チブさん？
ああ、大丈夫だ。君が引き続きそう呼んでくれるのであれば何も問題ない。
For some reason, Jib averted his gaze from me the entire time as he replied.
さて、気を取り直して、まずは今後の計画だが。
サリー、ショッピング行きたい。ミラノと言ったらファッションの街でしょ。行きたいお店がたくさんあるんだ。
おいおい勘違いするな。ミラノには観光に来たわけじゃないんだ。目立つ行動をするなよ。
ああ、まず考えるべきは資金調達だ。我々は全くの無一文だからな。
Right, none of us had any money whatsoever. In the bag of our confiscated belongings, we'd found most of our wallets, though we still had our IDs and ATM cards and such. All of our cash had disappeared. How did we check in, though?
たく、500ユーロは財布に入れてたはずなんだがな。どこですられたんだか。
押収品は運転席にあったからな。おそらくあの運転手たちが盗んだのだろう。
つまりあの爆発で全て燃えたというわけですか。
運転手たちと一緒にね。
残る手はこのキャッシュカードだが。
使えば足がつくだろうし、そもそも指名手配された時点で凍結されているはずだ。
そこはハッカー様が何とかできないのか。
サリーの家ならできるんだけどな。 さすがに銀行のセキュリティに忍び込むにはこのノート PC じゃスペック不足だよ。
I guess so.
本当に口座は凍結されているんでしょうか。
I suggested that we could, for example, travel to a slightly distant city and somehow withdraw money in secret, but Hamio shook his head.
いや、ピアチェンツァで試したがダメだったね。
試した。 ATM のある場所には監視カメラがあるはずだが。
ああ、そこは通りすがりの観光客にうまく頼んでな。
I'm amazed. His status as a con artist wasn't hollow. I was sure that he'd used his silver tongue as well, so that he didn't rouse any suspicion. In fact, the fees for the condo were supposed to be paid in advance, but Hamio had come to the rescue and negotiated to be deferred payment. Huh. Which meant that we had to somehow earn the necessary funds before we checked out. We'd only just fled to the city. We wanted to rest and recuperate, but still we had too much to do with too little time to do it.
そこも一旦は後払いにしてもらいましたけど、滞在日が延びると結構な額になりそうですし、宿泊費の工面はどうしましょう。
Even if we wanted to do part-time jobs during our stay, it was probably impossible due to our charges. I felt completely lost about what to do. Conversely, everyone else gave me perplexed looks.
払うの？
え？
おいおい、まさか払う気があったのかよ。
払わないつもりなんですか？
どうやって払えと言うんだ。
やっぱ金持ちからすってくる？お金はあるところからもらえって言うし。
それはダメです。ただでさえ指名手配されてるんですよ。罪を重ねれば重ねるほど追われることになるでしょうし、何より不必要に罪を犯したくはありません。
She's living in a different world.
それはご立派なことだね。なら当然代替案があるんだよな。合法的に金を手に入れる手段ってやつ。
それは
I didn't have an inkling about what to do. Hamio's sarcastic comment made me realize how unreasonable my argument was. I understood his point, but I still didn't want to commit more crimes. Was there a way to avoid such a future? Unable to find an answer, I hung my head. That was when I heard a sigh from a corner of the room.
カジノなら合法だろう。
Casino, huh? Anyone know poker?
カジノ。
That reminded me that casinos were popular tourist spots. I recalled Ada telling me a story about a casino from her Venus trip a while ago.
やった！サリーカジノやってみたかったんだ。
でもああいうとこってドレスコードあるんじゃなかったっけ？
いわゆる表向きなとこならな。アングラな裏カジノならドレスコードもパスポート提示もないし大丈夫だろう。
Unlicensed casinos.
一応合法な場所なんですよね。
一応見逃されてはいるな。
Oh, authorities turn a blind eye to them.
一応ね。
So they're supposed to be illegal, but they're not.
観光客や人が集まるところにはそういう遊び場も必要ってことさ。その中でマシな店を選べばいい。
ああ、非合法な場所は厄介で面倒な輩も多い。こちらに詐欺師がいるとはいえ、イカ様に引っかかるのだけは避けたいな。
そりゃ違いない。
あんまやばいとこだと銃出してくるやつもいるしな。そういうとこはろくでもないし、近寄らないに限るよ。
Everyone seemed to know about underground places like these to a certain extent. I suppose it was fitting since they were big-time criminals. Even so, is it really possible to make money at a casino? My image of them was more that they were places you'd lose your entire fortune. That was when another question popped up in my mind.
でも増やすにしても元手はどうするんですか？
そういうことでしたらお任せください。
Camus puffed out his chest with pride and took a single note from the bottom of the backpack he was carrying.
こんなこともあろうかとカバンを二重底にして入れておいたんですよ。200ユーロしかありませんが。
200 euros, huh?
せっかくならもっと入れておけよ。
いやー、まさか漫画で見た方法が役に立つ時が来るとは思わなかったもので。
だがよくやった。
元手がこれじゃ増やすのも苦労しそうだがな。
ですが裏カジノでしたらこの200ユーロが2万ユーロになるのも夢じゃありません。
ま、足りなきゃ僕が現地調達すればいいっしょ。
Is he going to do that by stealing? You bet he is. What Ram said motivated me. I had to win so he wouldn't have to resort to thievery. I didn't know if that was possible, but I could try at least.
で、その裏カジノってどこにあんの？
ジブシが知っているのでは？
私は知らん。
Oh no.
ハミエルはどうだ？
ミラノにつてはないね。アシはどうだ？
いや、俺も知らないな。
もう全然ダメじゃん。じゃあみんなで探しに行こう。
めんどくせえ。
だがそれしかあるまい。ここで引きこもっていても状況が良くなるわけではないからな。
悪いが俺はパスだ。探すのはお前たちに頼んだよ。カジノでイカサマするためには英気を養わないとな。
そんなのずるい。全員で探しに行こうよ。
いや、情報収集は少ない人数がいいだろう。できれば観光客に見えそうな人たちが望ましいな。
観光客に？
見えそうないでたちね。
Everyone looked at each other's clothing before all eyes convened on me.
私です。
ま、俺ならいいかもだと思いそうな面はしてるね。
僕もついターゲットにしちゃうかも。日本人って警戒心薄い人多いし。
ファッションもいかにも日本人観光客って感じだもんね。
True, I guess I came to Rome to sightsee and all.
確かにとてもではないが犯罪者には見えないな。よくいる日本人観光客と変わらない。人は指名手配犯と聞くと無意識のうちに凶悪そうな顔つきを想像するだろうからな。
まさかこんな平和ボケした顔だとは誰も思わないってわけだ。
Is that what I look like in his eyes? I'd been on edge since the moment we'd met, but it seemed that to constantly vigilant criminals like them, I fell firmly into the category of ordinary.
これで決まりだな。情報収集は目撃情報につながりづらそうな彼女を中心に行おう。
Yep.
ですがどうやってやればいいのか。
無論一人でとは言わない。誰かを連れて行けばいい。
Bring someone along to help you. Who though?
二人ならばそれこそ観光客らしく見えるだろう。
野郎二人の観光客なんか別の意味で目を引きそうだしな。
Pair of males, huh?
はあ、確かに。
で、誰と行く？僕ちょうど街出たいし、付き合ってもいいけど。
Oh man, another big choice. Ash, do you wanna go or not?
俺は嫌だね。
Count me out.
ですがハミエル君は他人から情報を聞き出すのは得意そうですが。
詐欺師の得意分野ではありそうだな。
Specialty of a con artist. As I looked over everyone's faces, I had an internal struggle about what to do. Hamiel and Ash openly showed their aversion. Jib didn't seem to have anything particular against going. Camu was acting suspiciously, while Ram and Sally looked like they were itching to go outside. Since I had to choose a companion, I decided to ask. Every time these hard decisions, huh? You know what? I think I'll go with